Namah Shivaya, and I invite you to drop into the stillness and the silence within through the practice of Yin Yoga today. So if you have a bolster, fantastic. If you have a block, wonderful. If you don't, no worries. This is all accessible. But one thing I just want to remind everybody, it's been a while since we've practiced together. Remember, Yin Yoga is a little bit different than traditional Hatha Yoga in that we use the musculature, we use the yang of the body to find the pose, to arrive in the shape in a medicinal way. And then once the body finds it, we release the effort as much as we're able. We release all of the work that we use to get there, and we just drop in to the soft tissue, to the connective tissue, to the place where bone meets bone, muscle meets bone, and that's where the juice lies. That's where the life force flows. So our practice today is not a focus on the muscles. It's a focus on the connective tissue. Okay, so with that being said, come on to your yoga zone, come into your nest. I don't even use a mat for this practice. If you can practice outdoors, I encourage you just to throw a rug outdoors and let the earth be your sticky mat. And we're going to begin in Sukhasana, easy pose. So one leg simply comes in front of the other. So bring your right foot closer to you, left leg further from you. These first three moves are going to come as a sequence, one on the other. I'm just going to show them to you right now, and then I'll talk you through them. Okay, I don't usually teach this way, so bear with me. I just want you to see the sequence so that you can stay in the experience once we start, and I can talk you through it, all right? So we start in Sukhasana, and then we drop into our back pockets and slowly round into our forward fold. Another way that it differs from Hatha Yoga. We don't hinge from where the legs meet the body. We allow the kidney band to open up and we round into the pose. Now this is when, if you have a bolster, you bring your bolster out in front of you to give your body a place, a soft place to land. As you drop into your back pockets, round your spine, come into your forward fold. So the first position, we're in our forward fold. Then we'll roll out of our forward fold, take the left leg back into dough pose. As the left leg comes back into dough pose, we may once again come into our forward fold on or not with a bolster. Coming back into the forward fold in dough pose. Then we'll roll out, and we'll be in each one of these positions about 2 or 3 minutes. We'll come out over the extended leg. So from dough pose, we'll roll halfway up, come out over the bent knee. Go down, stay there several moments, come halfway up, and extend out over that right hip. This is when we start to wring out the soft tissue of the navel, start wringing out the soft tissue of the belly, right? Start cleansing the gut. Also, great awareness on the opening of the left SI joint through the kidney band all the way out beyond the left arm, okay? So, you're just going to start to lengthen, 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 lengthen. From your left SI joint out through your left arm, coming into extension. We'll be here for several moments. Then top leg gets long, bottom leg gets long in the same orientation. Post off your points of contact, come onto the outside strike of that bottom hip, and once again, find your length and surrender. Come out the way you came in. The legs come back into position. We slowly lower, come back out over the knee, come back to center, post off our points of contact, and roll up. Okay? So, Sukhasana, everyone. All right? So as you come into Sukhasana, easy pose, you'll have your right shin closest to you, left shin furthest from you, and you'll spill into your back pockets. And as you spill into your back pockets, just close your eyes for a moment. And feel your body. Feel your points of contact. Feel where self meets self, wherever the hands are resting in the lap. Feel where self meets earth. Feel your points of contact and the support beneath you. Just taking a moment to arrive, fully inhabiting ourselves. And as we fully inhabit ourselves, we get really curious about what's so. How does it feel to be you, right here, right now? And keep your finger on the pulse of that. Continue to stay very close to you throughout your practice and keep yourself good company. And perpetually check in. How does it feel to be me now? Is there any way that I can modify, adjust, tinker around within this shape so that I could perhaps have an even more juicy, delicious experience of being me, unfolding, opening up? Alright? So with that being said, slowly begin to take a bow forward. So allowing your spine to round wherever it will, to soften, feeling your spine even like soft rope as you come into your forward fold, gathering whatever support you may need to catch you. A bolster, and maybe you pick your block up with a bolster underneath it to bring it a little bit closer to you. All the while, continuing to feel your points of contact as you drop down through your back pockets to open up the space from your bottom ribs to your waistband. And just rounding your spine, chin in towards the chest, back of the neck is long. Now it's oftentimes very nice to give your forehead a place to land. So if you want to rest your forehead on a block or on the back of stacked hands, you'll do that. And just soften in and surrender. Finding that spirit of humility, coming into union with whatever's so, and offering your breath to that experience. Open your breath up. Be incredibly generous as you offer your breath, your life force, to your body. And we use this movement of breath to encourage the movement within. There's a deep diaphragmatic breathing, moving the lymphatic fluids. A little bit of housekeeping. Soften the shoulders, the tongue, the jaw. Loosen the skull cap. Let it slide off. And throughout your practice, any time you notice the mind getting caught in mental constructs, and just let it go like clouds in the sky, and come back to your felt sense of your body. Stay beyond the reach of the intellect. The last few deep breaths here into your sensations. Deep breath in. A moment of retention at the top. Deeper breath out. Hands slide up onto the knees. Post off of your points of contact. Elbows move back behind you. Shoulders down as you roll up bone by bone. Vertebra by vertebra. Slowly rolling up to center. Eyes closed. Take a clearing breath. And then from here, you may want to keep your support out in front of you as you just release your left leg back into dough pose. So letting your left leg go back, the toes softly pointed behind you. And I like to give a nice external movement of the calf, rolling the inner calf towards the outer to keep it out of the way. And so your right shin is parallel to an edge of your mat. Right? Be soft in your feet. And once again, spill into your back pockets. And as you spill into your back pockets, begin to snail down into your bow. Use your hands, post off your points of contact to really feel your way into the shape so that it has meaning, so that it's interesting. It keeps your body's attention. Dropping deep into your back left pocket as best your body will allow. And then once you've felt your way into a shape, you release the effort that brought you there. And you simply soften. And then you play your body like a flute with your breath. Just distributing prana throughout the reed of your being. Notice where you feel, what you feel. Drop deeper into stillness. And allow the generosity of the breath to be what takes you into the depth of a pose. Deep breath in, moment of retention at the top, sneak in a little bit more, hold it, deeper breath out, through the mouth if you will. And then using your hands just to roll up halfway, if even halfway. You just roll up enough to orient your spine out over your right leg. Orient your spine towards your right knee. Now spill deep into your back left pocket. Spill deep into your back left pocket. Post off with the hands for that to be so. And then once again, take a bow. Roll down out over that right knee at whatever trajectory, whatever angle allows you to really start feeling the left SI joint. Continuing to use your bolster, your block, whatever you need for support. And then for those of you that have the incredible good fortune of a sandbag or two, this is when you would use a sandbag to get nice and heavy in this outer left hip. Really dropping down through this back left pocket. Because what you're going to start feeling here, the purpose of this entire sequence is to get us into SI joint as it leads into hip, low back, just all of this connective tissue, everything that holds the sacrum in place. And then breathing from the bottom ribs to the waistband, freeing up this left kidney and the kidney sling, while continuing to feel heaviness in your back left pocket. Left lung slowly dropping down towards the floor, so we start to get this wringing out of the belly and the soft tissue of the gut. Yeah? Generous with your breath. Every time you catch the mind, leaving the pose, leaving the experience, you just come back to your points of contact and let that be your portal back into this moment, back into presence. That, my friends, is yoga. Where's your breath? Last little bit of really peeling open whatever you can hear. Through nice deep breathing. And then you're going to begin posting off of your points of contact with your hands, just lifting your body up only enough to start organizing in the direction out beyond your right hip. Again, taking your bolster or your block or whatever you may need with you. Legs are in the same position the entire time. And from here, you're going to really post off with your hands and start bringing the tissue to the left of your belly button to the right. And you're really wringing out the navel, and then reach long with your left arm. Incredibly long with your left arm, as if it were an extension of your left SI joint. Lengthening and lowering. Right hand maybe comes back alongside the right hip, wherever you need it to get some traction, to bring the left side of the body to the right, as best you can. Now you may be able to rest the left side of your face on the bolster, but not if it introduces tension. Right? That's not why we're here. It's not a tension relocation program. So you rest in whatever orientation on the bolster or on the floor you have absolute permission to be in. And bring your awareness to your sacrum, to your low, low, low back, right? And then from your low back, feel this length all the way out your left waist. From your left waist up through your left shoulder, from your left shoulder out through your left arm. And just keep finding an orientation, a trajectory for that left arm that gives you space in the low left back, right? Wherever that may be for you. Find it. Soften. Just soften in. So use the effort to get there and then clock out. Staying beneath the radar of effort, you drop down into pure sensation, right? Just feeling this all healing open and breathing into the unfolding of the lotus. And then from here, you're going to keep the upper half of your body as it is. And you're just going to begin by lengthening your top leg straight out. Just straight out beyond you. And point and flex a little bit through that left foot to find your way into the full length of that left leg as it leads straight out beyond you behind your left hip. So that left leg is an extension of your spine. And then let your right leg come perpendicular to your body, straight out in front of you. And once again, point and flex a little bit through it. And feel your way into the length of your legs. And then post off your points of contact if you need to. Pick that left hip up and come down. Pull that left hip back behind you a little bit and come down on the absolute outside strike of that left hip. And then as you come back down, continue to feel a deep twist, right? The tissue to the left of your belly button just coming to the right. Twisting, twisting, twisting. Use your right hand back behind you as you need to find a nice deep wringing out of that soft tissue that can be so tender, so vulnerable. Right? Tends to be a warehouse for worry. Let it go. Right? Clearing out the lymph. So much lymph in the belly. Oh my goodness. Alright, and then soften, soften, soften. Everywhere, all at once. Maybe a little effort in the arms to keep you in place. That's about it. Make sure you have absolute permission to be with whatever orientation your head is in. Clear traffic. Just breathe. Breathe. Clear the highways of your being. And breathe out through your feet, out through your fingers. Continue to spread yourself open in all directions to claim the inner space while softening. Our last bit of time here, really yoke open several rounds of Dirga Swasam. As best you can, filling the belly, the low chest, the upper chest, and noticing within this shape where the breath goes. Emptying from top to bottom, filling from bottom to top. And allow your body to really be moved by the depth of your breath. So if someone were watching, they could see you breathing yourself into being. And then releasing the breath to its own intelligence, we slowly begin just to change the shape in the legs, to start backing out the way we came in. So the right knee will bend, and the right knee comes back in position for dough. Left knee bends, comes back into position for dough. The hands slide up underneath the shoulders. We stay low as we start moving our upper body back in the direction of the knees. So post off with your points of contact. Come back in the direction of your right knee. And then from your right knee, squaring off between your knee and your foot. Coming back to center. Pause there in your dough pose. Take a clearing breath. And then hands slide up underneath the shoulders, wherever they best post off as you roll up bone by bone, vertebra by vertebra. Sit tall in the saddle at the top. Deep breath in. Clearing breath out. And then you're simply going to shift your weight to the left to take your right leg back and prepare your legs for child's pose. Get your bolster out in front of you. Decide how wide apart you want your knees. Back into your back pockets and roll down into child's pose. And continue to do your best Goldilocks, feeling that yes, this is the perfect distance, my knees from one the other. And then feel the space from your bottom ribs to your waistband. And just breathe into that expansiveness. If your cheek is to one side, perhaps take it to the second side. Soft shoulders, soft jaw, soft tongue. Just allow the soft animal of your being a moment to purr. And then the hands slide underneath the shoulders and post off as you roll up bone by bone. Head's always the last to rise. Pause at the top. And then from here, you're perfectly poised to bring your left leg in position for dough pose. So the left shin comes parallel to the front edge of your mat. And the right leg is back to the right heel, close to the right hips, scooping the inner calf to the outer. You have your bolster out in front of you if needed. You take a moment to really close your eyes, feel the support beneath you. Feel yourself as a part of the earth. And then slowly you take your bow as you roll down into the gesture of surrender. Taking all the support you need so that your body has a comfortable landing. Whenever our body feels supported, it is more likely to soften, to release, to trust the support beneath it. Feel your way into your back right pocket. Drop nice and heavy. Remembering that the poses are never meant to be fragile. So shift, wiggle, writhe, however you need to, whenever you need to. deep breath in. Moment of retention. Sneak in a little more. Open the mouth, let it go. And feel the excavation that's begun. We just ask our body, do I have permission to continue proceeding in this direction? And when you do feel ready to go to the next phase, you just lift only as much as you need to start orienting your body out over that left knee. Drop into your back right pocket, spill your pelvic bowl backwards, posterior tilt, and then roll your spine open out over that left knee. Again, playing with the trajectory that feels best for your sacrum as we start to peel open the space from the spine to the right hip. Keep rooting down deep into your back right pocket and post off your points of contact and lift up just enough to orient your trunk out beyond your left hip. And now really let your left hand go maybe back towards your left hip a little bit. Left hand goes a little bit back behind you or off to the side so you can get some good traction that allows you to rotate the navel to the left. Right arm goes long and really wring it out. Close your right lung off towards the floor. Close your right kidney off towards the floor. Like really find whatever it is you can. You'll come up and back down as many times as you need to so that you find this delicious wringing out of the belly. So there's this ringing. Alright? So there's this great spiral in yoga. Wringing out. So left kidney coming down. Right kidney rather, coming down. Left kidney coming towards the right. Right kidney coming towards the floor. Right lung coming towards the floor. And then you feel this length out through the right knee. Starting to really open that right hip, yeah? Yeah. And then moving out beyond, out through the right arm. Just opening up this entire gateway. This pathway of energy. Having opened wide the kite of your being, just fill it with your breath. Just delighting in the inner space. And feel free to stay here as long as your body would like you to, or you begin to extend your top leg. And let your right leg go straight back behind you, and you point and flex a little bit and feel your way into the length of that right leg as it extends out of your right hip. And then once the right leg feels like an extension of your spine and your right hip, and the left leg starts to come out long, perpendicular to your trunk. And you point and flex a little bit and feel your way into that. And then perhaps you push off of your hands, pick your left hip, slide it a little bit back behind you, and come onto the outside strike. And then now you really feel that belly coming down and twisting from right to left. You can use that left hand back behind you to post off of the earth to go deeper into that twist. Now, however it feels good. And then breathe into this. Really feel your way into its length. Soften into it. Soften your toes. Feel the pathways of energy really opening up. And breathe throughout them. Breathe throughout the Audubon of your being, right? Open it up. Opening out in all directions for your last little bit. Just feeling the energetics of it. Going beyond the physical limitations. Feeling out beyond yourselves. And breathing to that. Right? That expansiveness. And then we start to come out the way we came in. Left knee bends. And once that shin is parallel to the front edge, right leg bends, comes back, beautiful. And then we post off of our points of contact. Yeah. Come out beyond that left knee, stay low and long, coming back through to center. Pause at center for a breath. Come down for support, and you slowly roll up bone by bone. Pause at the top, a moment to feel, a moment to heal, a moment to give thanks perhaps for the blessing of yoga in our lives. And then you're simply going to begin taking that left leg long, out at an angle, making a V with your legs. Right leg goes long out in front of you. And we start to open up shop for a forward fold, a forward straddle. Bring your bolster up close to you. You can build it up on a block if you need it taller. All right. And unlike traditional Hatha Yoga, where we hinge from where the legs meet the body, here we just take a moment to spill into our back pockets. Right? Spilling into your back pockets. And then it's kind of like this little snail energy, right? You just round yourself slowly, rounding yourself out over your support. Making sure that you have a place to land. Point and flex a few times if there's any energy hemmed up in the legs. And then just soften, as best you can, trying to rest on the center strike of the heels as best you can. But, let it be organic. And just soften. Allow this to be a place of integration. Feeling what's going on in your low back, your SI joint, the sacrum. Really works so very hard to keep the hips and spine in a healthy relationship. Take a clearing breath or two. Clearing whatever distortion may be on the surface of your being, whether it's in your body or in your brain. And then post off your points of contact and roll on up till the chin's parallel to the ground. Shoulder blades are in your back pockets. From here, we're going to begin orienting towards Virasana, Ardha Virasana. So we're going to shift our orientation from the side of the mat towards the head of the mat. And we're going to take the right leg back in Virasana. So bend your right knee, roll the calf from inner to outer to get the calf tissue out of the way. And let me go just a little bit forward. And from here, as best you can, eliminate any sickle from your right foot, as best you can, so that the inside strike of the heel is going straight out through the big toe. And as best you can, the inside strike of that right knee is hugging the inner left thigh. As that left leg comes straight out beyond you, left leg is coming straight out in front of you, resting on your center strike of your left heel, as best you can. And so there's an internal rotation with your right thigh, external rotation with your right calf. And then you'll have a bolster back behind you. And I recommend stacking your bolster up nice and high. So whatever you need to do to get to this orientation, take your time getting there. Set yourself up for success. Now remember, you don't ever want to be too close to the bolster behind your back. You want there to be space. And then the hands go nice and wide beyond you. And the hands are going to slide wide, chin into the chest as you slowly lower down onto the bolster, hands slide wide. The most common thing is for the right knee to pick up. It's okay. It's okay. Let the right knee pick up if it needs to initially. Okay? Don't force anything from this white quadricep. What we're really interested in here is moving from the belly of the quad to the attachment of the quadricep at the patella, at the right kneecap. And just loosen the grip there. Soften as best you can. Don't force anything. Get up as high as you need to on a bolster so that your body doesn't feel bullied in any way. Okay? The higher up you go on your bolster, the less intense it is on your right quad. And not only are we feeling from the belly of the right thigh to the right kneecap, from the belly of the right thigh to the inner right hip bone. So we're most interested in these attachment points and really loosening the grip everywhere that we can in that right leg. Shoulder blades sliding down your back body, shoulder heads dropping down towards the floor, palms up, shoulders down. Every so often, you check in with your low back. And I will invite you to slide your left foot to standing, press into your left foot, scoop your tail up and under. See that you have plenty of space in your low back. Do you have permission to lengthen your leg once again? If you don't, you keep that left knee bent and that left foot standing. And you use that to claim real estate for your low back. All right? And then soften. So now we're loosening the grip on the SI joint from the front side. Trying perhaps to get into psoas, iliacus. Just softening all of this attachment. Yeah? So breathe, 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 soften. And remember, any shaking that happens very well might be titration. Your body releasing excess charge that's been hemmed up in the tissues. Trust it. Breathe into it. Stay with it as best you can. Okay? No feeling is final. Let it all happen. The beauty and the terror. And sharp shooting pain is a no-no. Sharp shooting pain, we come out. Connective tissue is juicy. It can have a great feeling of vulnerability. Just stay with that as best you can. See how courageous you can be in allowing yourself to feel vulnerable. Last little bit here, really opening your breath up. Breathing from your points of sensation. Deep breath in. Deeper breath out. And then palms go down. And you decide whether you press into your hands, your elbows, whatever it is you do to slowly post up and come up as evenly as possible. Try not to shift. Keep your leg as it is. Post off your points of contact and roll your body up. Chin into the chest. Yeah, beautiful. Well done. Rolling up. Pause at the top. And then from here, you're simply going to slide your right foot to standing. Yeah, slide your right foot to standing. Let your right heel be just to the outside strike of your right hip. A little bit out in front of you and a little bit off to the side. Try not to let your right knee flop open. You're on the center strike of the left heel. And you're going to slowly come into a forward fold out over that left leg. Yep, there you go. So this is all about, you can hold this right knee in place with your right hand, however it's most comfortable for you to do so. But this is all about creating space in the SI joint. All right? So the focus is really on what's happening here. From your low back to the right of the midline, and all the way perhaps around to the hip. So it's not about your left leg at all. It's not about your hamstring at all. So do not worry about going deep into your forward fold for some heroic accomplishment for your hamstring. Stay with the awareness of what's happening in your low back, your SI joint, your quadratus lumborum that wraps around the crest of your right hip on the back side, the ilium. So just feel that bottom right quadrant of your low back. That's where this pose takes place. Last few breaths here. Relax the shoulders. Get deep, deep, deep into your low back, your hip. And then slowly roll up. Slowly rolling up bone by bone. Yeah. Pause at the top. Let your right leg go long. Take a breath because you can. Give it back because you're generous. And then we're going to begin to take that left leg into Virasana. So, bending your left knee, left toes point back towards the world behind you as you let this left leg come all the way into Virasana. We roll the inner calf towards the outer. And we let the knees move towards one another at the midline, finding the center strike of the right heel. Making sure that you're set up for success with the bolster behind you on as tall the edge of as you need. Like, get that bolster up as high as you need. And then hands go nice and wide as you slowly begin to slide your hands wide, tuck your chin so we don't engage our neck muscles unnecessarily. Yeah. Spill your pelvic bowl backwards. Scoop your tail up and under. You check in with your low back. Do you need your right knee bent, your right foot standing, so that you can perpetually spill your pelvic bowl backwards and claim that real estate of your low back? Make this your practice. And then soften in your hips. Soften straight through from your hip bones to your SI joint. Soften the pelvis, the entire pelvic bowl, the low back. Feel that that sickle is eliminated from your left foot. Well done. There's usually a great deal of residual gripping in this pose, so just be patient. Your body works very hard to keep you stable when upright in the gravity field. And we're grateful, right? So just sending your body the message, it's okay to let go. It's okay to let go. Shoulder blades sliding down your back. Breathing into the belly of that left quad and tracking it down to soften the grip at the kneecap. Tracking it up to soften the grip at the hip bone. Feeling the origin and insertion at each end. And staying in any of these poses for as long as your body summons you. If ever I move beyond, you just come back, hit the pause, catch up. Alright. Hands go palms down. Chin tucks into the chest. We post off our points of contact and roll on up to seated from here. As best you're able. Pause at the top just for a moment to feel Ardha Virasana. And then slide your left foot to standing. Let the heel be a little bit wider than the sitting bone to the outside strike of the left hip. A little bit out in front of you, but close enough to you that it gives a nice little juice out of the low back. Then find the center strike of the right heel. And slowly begin to roll your spine down into a forward fold. So once again, we're not hinging from where the legs meet the body. We're just rolling down like that sweet little snail. Just feel a lifting of the vertebra up off the one beneath it as we lift and roll and lift and roll, and just find that great opening in your low back to the best of your ability. Shoulders down. Just opening up whatever we can in the low back. Back of the neck is long. Should do a bit of space at the AO joint as well, in the base of the skull. It's kind of yummy. See if you can gently feel your left kidney moving towards your right knee. Just opening the door a little bit more. Well, not SI joint. Left kidney moving towards the right knee. For those of you who are able, and you can find that that left knee isn't going to flop open, that it will kind of stay in place on its own, you could actually use the left arm to come to the outside strike of the leg. The right hand goes back beyond the right hip, and you may use that to bring the left kidney in. So, but if you notice that left knee wants to flop open, then use the left arm to support it. Yeah. Alright. Peel open whatever you will. Last little bit here. Deep breath in. Deeper breath out. Again, deep breath in. Deeper breath out. Slowly begin to roll up and out. Yeah. And as you roll up and out, just pause at the top. And from here, let your legs do whatever they want to do to be comfortable. Take a clearing breath. And then whatever support is behind you, reach back and just scoot it off to your right. Let it be just beyond your right hip. And then give your knees a hug as you slowly roll on down to the ground. Just post off of your legs to roll slowly down. And as you get down, hug your knees in, a little rocking side to side. And then you'll let your shins take tabletop, arms out like wings. And as your shins take tabletop, let them both come to the right. And then I would encourage you to use that bolster between your legs. Or underneath or on top, you'll find what's best for you. But the bolster's between the legs. As you take your legs off to the right, keep your trunk and your gaze oriented to the ceiling. And then notice that your knees don't come higher up than your hips, and your heels go out beyond your knees perhaps. Your heels go out a little bit beyond your knees perhaps. Maybe. You're going to find whatever is best for your SI joint in this. So it's not as much about a twist as it is, once again, what's going on in your low back, the theme of the day, right? Low back and hips. Yeah. And you just find a way to let that left leg rest on the bolster. That creates space in your outer left hip. It just feels delicious. Whatever it is you do, find something delicious and soften into that. And take, about 10 nice deep rounds of Dirghaswasam. And then to come out of this, see what it's like. Just to very gingerly let that left leg slide long and low out beyond you. Let it just go long. Move gingerly. Coming out of this can be tender. And just roll onto your backside. Let your legs go long. And then from here, let your legs come together at the midline. Let your arms go long overhead behind you and hook your thumbs. As you hook your thumbs together, hug the outer arm to the inner, hug the outer leg to the inner, and reach out through your fingers and your toes. And just wiggle and writhe into the length of your being. Out through fingers, out through toes. Then flex out through your heels a little bit. Get long in the backside. Yeah, a little point, a little flex. Lengthen, wiggle, writhe. And then soften. Just soften. Let your arms and legs be where they want to. Take a breath or two. And then you're just going to move the bolster over to the left. And with as little effort as possible. Try not to even pick up your head. Just sliding the bolster to the left. Shins come to tabletop, arms out like wings. Shoulders down, palms up. And let your legs come over to the left. And feel for however you want to use the bolster. Whether it's on top of your right leg, between your legs, underneath your left leg. Find what it is that feels magically delicious and creates space in your low back, and in the low back a little bit to the right of the midline. So the knees are lower than the hips and the heels are out beyond your knees. So the legs are more straight than bent. Find it, feel for it, no matter how it looks. Discard my words. And when you felt your way in, soften, receive. Return to Dirga Swasam, your deep 3-part breathing. It's okay to let go. Soft tongue, soft jaw, soft belly, soft brain. A last breath or two here. And then begin to allow that right leg to feel its length. Keep the bolster close as you roll onto your back side. And just pause for a moment. In any way, just any way that your body wants you to be, any organization. And drop as deeply as you're able into your felt sense of your body right now. And what would be the ideal shape for your body to take for Shavasana? And begin to do that. All the support, whatever it is your body may want or need for supreme comfort, let that happen. Find the length of your arms, your legs, the distance they want to be from each other. And just continue to tinker until you hear your body saying, yes, thank you, this is it. This is it. And then you just spill out all over the floor. Your body liquefies. And it spills out all over the support beneath it. And then like water, it dissolves into the surface beneath it. Liquid body, liquid bones, liquid mind. Imagine that you could just float up out of yourselves and be a sacred witness, just hovering above you, keeping a soft, watchful eye over that precious body that's resting there in stillness and silence, as if you would perhaps peek in on a sleeping newborn with absolute adoration, appreciation. Be that for yourselves, and drop in to that space, that sacred witness space. I will simply bathe you in the closing prayers as you bathe yourselves in stillness. Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May all beings in all worlds be happy and free. Om, peace, peace, peace. Jai Shri Satguru Maharaj Ki Jai. Victory to the light within.
We love you, Athens.